Hello, welcome back. I am the Irish guy, and this is just my small little corner of the internet where I just talk about whatever. Well, listen, I stuck up a question on Twitter.
Ask me a burning question about any YouTuber on the planet and I'll answer honestly. I'm on the edge of my seat here.
And I am. Edge of my seat. But come on then, let's see. Let's see what burning questions you have about other YouTubers. This is your one chance. Let's try and hope that you seize it. Alright, let's go.
Will and E.
That's a funny looking question. Have another go at that, lads.
Craig from Anfield Agenda.
Again, no, that's not a question. Come on, this is very basic. That's someone's name. Come on, this is very basic stuff.
What are your thoughts on Eminem's music?
He's not a YouTuber. How are you messing this up?
Jeremy Lynch.
Again, that's not a what?
True Geordie.
I give up.
You versus Alfie in a boxing match. Who comes out on top?
Okay, let's get this straight. I've never been in a boxing match in my life. I'm pretty sure if anybody watched my technique, they think I was having an upper body stroke. But Alfie, if this boxing match was instead something like a spelling bee, or a debate about neoliberal tax reforms, or talking about the inner workings of the Hungarian embassy, then oh, he'd wipe the floor with me. But I'm sorry, I like Alfie, but he's the modern day Mr. Burns. I'd imagine if he ever set foot across the threshold of a boxing ring, the poor boy would probably burst into flames.
Honest opinions on each member of the Sidemen.
Okay, let's make this quick then. I'll sum up each one with a sentence. I mean, it'll be hard considering how little I know of each one of them. Mini Minter. I'm mildly impressed by this guy's ability to rap, considering he looks like someone who's got the rhythm of Santa Claus. Good Christ, I'm guessing the hardest grind this guy listens to is Swagger Jagger on loop. But fair play. He got a credible flow, I suppose. Ethan Payne. I mean, fair play. Here's a guy who clearly went from thinking that 7 donuts and a pint of butter constituted an afternoon snack to now someone who probably gets a nosebleed whenever he walks past Pizza Hut. But bringing out a documentary called How to Be Bazinga, not only does that show a complete lack of self-awareness, but Bazinga, he sounds like a sound effect from that Camp 60s Batman. Vicstar. Rich. KSI. Mega Rich. Josh. Rotashaw. Whenever I hear the name Rotashaw, I always remember this golden piece of internet nugget.
Who is the best football YouTuber? You know what, mate? I'm partial to a bit of Thogden. I've been really getting into Thogden recently. Him and his dad going around. I think they're jokes.
Yeah, it's like being punched in the scrotum.
Who wins a sword fighting tournament between you, Mark Goldberg, Troops and Lee Judges?
Lee Judges through heart alone.
Would you scrap Jack?
Who? Jack Mate? Scrap him for what? Because honestly, there usually has to be a reason to scrap someone, not just because it was ordered by something called Sam Tim. I mean, this isn't some Indian takeaway where instead of getting rice and papadoms, you get to watch malnourished internet ogres fight on camera. No, again, this isn't the living room of Calvin Candy. You're not gonna see me punch Jack Mate's earwax all over the carpet just because you demanded it. So again, strange question. The answer is no.
Thoughts on Lawrence McKenna?
Again, I already did an entire video on him on this very channel. Go watch it.
What are your thoughts on the rapping skills of KSI?
Well, it's a bit of an evolution, isn't it? I mean, go back to any time pre-2017, and honestly, it was just like listening to howling dogs. What is this? He's literally just shouting in my ear. It just sounds like my middle-aged French teacher who kept trying to blame us for her divorce. It's not my fault your face looks like a squashed egg McMuffin. But KSI has evolved, he's gotten better, and yeah, I think some of his songs are quite catchy. Maybe, don't do any more ballads though. I mean, remember last year when the BBC released a charity signal of Stop Crying Your Heart Out? Yeah, the guy was only given 3 words to sing, but still, KSI singing Oasis is like hearing a cat bark or watching Russell Brand take a bath. It just doesn't really seem right.
Thoughts on the kickoff regulars?
I've only ever met one, Adam McCullough, in Sunderland 4 years ago for about 10 minutes. He seemed like a nice enough lad, and I'm sure I'll meet him again. Pretty sure he won't remember who the hell I am though. I mean, I once did a video on True Geordie. He left a nice comment, and then deleted it after one of his patented changes of heart. I mean, he was probably having a bad day. Ate a bad Easter egg or something. Maybe he got a shoelace stuck in an escalator. I don't know. I had a brief Twitter exchange with Lawrence McKenna after that video I made 2 months ago. He was nice enough. And Christ, Boovie filled in for me over Christmas on HITC Sport 2 years ago.
Welcome back to the channel. Some people think he's called Fraudiola. I just call him the man who managed to pull off one of the worst jumpers in the history of football.
But Christ above, the reaction from all of you, it went down about as well as finding your dog wiping its bum on your pillow. Christ above, from the reaction, you swear this is Harry Styles doing the Queen's speech. But yeah, that masked man that was Lawrence Boovy. I know it's probably a shock to you all. I mean, you all love him on the kickoff now, but yeah, that was him, who you all treated like a disheveled leper on my channel in late 2019. Yeah, I know, it's a shock, right? This must be a tough process for you all to stomach. This is a bit like unmasking Spider-Man. Except instead of Peter Parker, it's just some fella who looks like Phil Foden's dad. You're not gonna want to kiss him hanging upside down now, are you? Anyway, the only person on that panel who has never acknowledged my existence in any way, shape or form is Rory Jennings. Come on, Rory! Give me a hug! Actually, I wouldn't hug me, you'll probably get some sort of rash.
Can Callum's Corner do a rainbow flick?
A rainbow flick? No, Callum's Corner looks like the type of guy who'd sooner try and hunt down Harry Potter. I don't want to be mean, but he looks like Bruce Willis meets The Big Bang Theory. So, a rainbow flick, pretty sure if he attempted that, he'd somehow wind up with a cracked ribcage and glaucoma in both eyes. Honestly, imagine if this guy goes trick-or-treating. Imagine answering the door and finding him looking for a Kit Kat. I'd sooner open the door to Michael Myers.
If you ever got invited on the Happy Hour podcast, would you do it?
Yes.
Would it ever be likely for you to feature on Ben Foster's YouTube channel?
Well, here's the deal. Let him know this. Ben Foster has 2 weeks to contact me, or I am releasing a Ben Foster's Football Origins, and it won't be pretty.
The guys from the kickoff, would you ever consider going on if they asked you?
But they haven't asked me. No, do you want me to just sit here like a desperate teenage girl with mascara drooling down my cheeks like bird poo to the point where you look like a constipated raccoon? What, just sitting here begging for an invite to the dance?
Oh, please, Brian. Please invite me to your birthday party. I swear I won't get sick all over the cake.
But, yes, I would go on.
Describe Hamill in one word.
Skywalker. Oh, wait, did you mean Chris Hamill? Oh, phlegm.
What do you think of KSI's music?
Listen, we're never gonna hear KSI open for Eminem, and the day his music appears in James Bond is the day I swim to Zambia. But listen, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that his music is a recipe for ear death. No, I realize many of you out there would assume that a YouTuber's rap album would make you envy the deaf, but I actually don't think KSI stuff is bad. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna go and listen to it on the bus, but I can appreciate the man works very hard, and I actually liked the single Uncontrollable from a few years ago, so I actually think his music is not bad at all. But again, trying his hands at ballads? No, sorry. Holiday sounds like James Blunt crying into a sock.
Do you like Thogden and Thogdad?
Sure?
Would Joe Tomlinson knock you out?
So, what is this? That's like asking would Fred Weasley beat me up. The only way he'd knock me out is by force feeding a cup of super glue down my throat.
Thoughts on why the true Geordie hasn't got you on the kickoff yet?
I'm pretty sure he hates me with a crippling passion.
Do you think Tommy Fury would actually beat Jake Paul?
Well, if he doesn't, he's getting kicked out of his family while being rechristened as Tommy Fumbles. So for his own sake, if he wants to keep getting invited to Fury functions, and maybe holding out for one day getting a hug off his dad, and Christ above, he needs to win this one alone. But can you imagine the pressure on the poor guy's shoulders now? I don't care if this is apparently an easy task. I'm sorry, but if your entire career, name and self-respect is on the line for anything, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be just vomiting a piece of chewing gum into a nearby bin. Whatever it is, you're still gonna have sweaty feet. Ozzy, when he steps foot in that boxing ring, he's gonna be breathing heavier than David Cameron watching Peppa Pig.
Are you KSI's biggest fan?
His biggest fan? I'm sorry, what? I can't even begin to imagine what KSI's biggest fan might look like. Christ, what the level of fandom that man generates. Apparently his mere presence on stage is enough to make people faint at his shows. So I'm guessing KSI's biggest fan, whoever it is, if he ever got to shake his hand, he probably wouldn't wash his fingers for a year. I mean, if he ever broke into KSI's house, he'd probably spend 7 hours chewing on his toothbrush. So, no, that's not me.
Do you think there's a legit chance of Jake Paul having a credible boxing career, or would he just be KO'd by anyone who's skilled at fighting?
A credible boxing career is what, 20 to 30 fights? Anyone who thinks Jake Paul is even gonna have 10 pro fights, yeah, I bet you also think the tooth fairy climbs up your drainpipe every night.
Do you rate Chris MD?
Yeah, of course. Oh wait, no, you're all desperate to see some beef, right? Like that creep who gets his knob out in butcher shops. In which case, alright then, Chris MD is a ginger hobbit who probably had to pay his own mother to buy his book. There, does that satisfy you? Does that scratch your beef itch? Good, now you can stop trying to romance the steak.
Is Deji a wet cheese sandwich?
The wettest. So wet, the sandwich probably wears a bath towel around its waist.
Do you think you can beat Vinnie Minter in the crossbar challenge?
Yes.
Between you and KSI, who'd win a boxing match?
A man who trained like a pro boxer for 2 years versus someone with the face of a foot with eczema. If I fought JJ Olatunji right now, I'd probably spend the next month coughing up chunks of my own tongue.
Can Jake Paul beat KSI?
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Which YouTuber do you not like and why?
I hope Will Need tears a muscle in his bladder.
Why is Rizecom hated?
It's rice scum.
What is your general opinion of Jacksepticeye from Ireland's perspective?
I'll be honest, I've never in my life have I heard anyone in Ireland ever acknowledge the existence of Jacksepticeye. Honestly, go down to a local pub in Wicklow or Cork, stand up at a table and ask them what they think of PewDiePie. They'll think you're talking about an STD. I've never watched a Jacksepticeye video in my life. But why would I? What marketing is that? Jacksepticeye. That just sounds grim. I mean, if you went down your local HMVs, are you really gonna pick up a DVD box set titled Pete's Infected Knob? Or Susan's Gangrene Toe? Or Jason's Rotting Belly Button? No, so again, a septic eye? No, instead in Ireland, the YouTuber made all the headlines was Cian Toomey, Facebook's answer to Mrs. Brown's Boys. Watching one of those videos, about as enjoyable as drinking a cup of soil.
Out of everyone on the kickoff, who do you think is the most bitchy?
I once saw Hugh Wizzy punch an old lady to death outside Costa Coffee because she reached for the last blueberry muffin. There! Is that what you want to hear? None of them are bitchy, because this isn't a bunch of teenage girls squabbling over who kissed Kevin in the toilets. Kevin was my school janitor. I think he's now doing 7 years in jail.
Do you agree that Joe Tomlinson is a schmuck?
A schmuck? What does a schmuck mean? A foolish or contemptible person. Whatever about me thinking it, I'm pretty sure Justin Bieber does. He looks so bored, you can almost see him developing a migraine behind the eyes.
If you had to pick between Thogden and Mark Goldberg to have a fight with, who would you pick?
Is this a serious question? Would I fight a 20-year-old would-be student who surely has the bicep strength of a malnourished pig, or a former trained policeman? Don't get it wrong. Yeah, Goldberg might look like a stay-at-home dad who probably spends his Friday nights watching My Little Pony before being tucked into bed at 9, but he was a cop. He'd probably knock every tooth out of my mouth.
Thoughts on Thogden's Newcastle vlog? Opinions on Thogden's clickbait title?
Yeah, this one came up quite a bit. Listen, if you don't know what this was all about, I'm not going to drag it all up again. Listen, people make mistakes. What is Theo? Is he about 20 years old? 20 years old. He was born in 2001? He's a walking fetus. Listen, YouTube can be a place where people lose sight of reality. I'm guessing there are some people who bring a camera to their own granny's wake if it got them a few extra views, just to get them a clickbait thumbnail. But Theo, he seems like a good kid. I don't think this was an insensitive grab for view. I don't actually think that. The man traveled from London to Newcastle. He needs to get an entire vlog out within, what, 7 minutes of the game ending? There is a lot of pressure on him. The guy is working under the same time constraints as actual journalists. Except they've got a team of editors to help. I mean, what? You're going to make mistakes. He's sitting in the cold in the freezing northeast of England, probably in a pair of wet socks after 3 pints down the local strawberry. He's not going to be thinking clearly. The main thing is, he's learned from it, he's moved on. No, I don't think he's the next Logan Paul. Fine, he's 20 years of age. Come on, cut him a bit of slack.
What do you honestly think about Sevens?
Did nobody watch my hipster video? Anyway, that is the end of the video, lads. What were those questions? If you want to see me do a part 2, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you want to see me talk about on this channel. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give a like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.